Hey everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis, and I'm Tavis. If you're watching me for the first time, thank you for watching. And if you've been watching me for a long time or a while, thank you for coming back. I know it's been a long time. There's been a lot of things going on in this man's life, but music has never stopped. I've always been going out buying records and just never found the time to just sit down and talk to all of you. But now I have time. My house is, or my apartment is pretty clean. And so I said, why don't I just sit down and make a video? And we're gonna talk about some good old classic R&B music. Let me tell you a little story. You know you're getting old. You know you're getting old when you're driving your car. I'm driving my c and I pull up at a stoplight, and my windows are down and I'm booming Daryl Hall and John Oates, Hall and Oates, Private Eyes. I just love Hall and Oates. That first introduction, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I see you and you see me. I mean, that is just, to me, it just captures your attention. So I'm blasting that. I'm thinking I'm really doing something. Then someone comes up to me and they're booming this new music that I have no clue. Maybe it's older music, but I still had no clue. A lot of cussing, a lot of drums. And I said to myself, what's going on with music? And I've been saying this to myself for the past, I say 10 years. I don't understand. I guess we're at that age, and I speak about this often. We're at that age, if you're 50, 40, even if you're 45, maybe even if you're 40. So I'm 51. I guess I'm at that age in which the music of today means absolutely nothing to me. I don't even get it. I don't understand it. I don't even try to understand it. And I look at all of the wonderful people that we loved, or that I loved as a child, and now they're older, and I see them touring, and it's like, I'm in that reminiscing mode. And they're older, and you're older, I'm older, and I'm watching them as an older guy and watching them being an older performer, and they're not the same. And it just seems not disappointing, but it's just a sad feeling, We're gonna get to the music that I'm playing, or the records that I wanna show, but I just had to speak my mind today about this. Like Diana Ross is still touring, and she is 79 years old. And I just saw a video of her on TikTok, and she's singing, I think she's singing The Boss. Fancy me, thought I had my degree in love. And she sounded so good. And I thought to myself, is that auto-tune, or is the microphone rigged in which they can make her voice sound even better? And I just really listened to it, and it's really her voice. Now, I could be wrong, and her background singers were the bomb. I'm like, that's real music. And she was elegant. She has on her beautiful dresses. Her hair is still spectacular, and she's just I want to say she's a princess. I want to say she's a queen. I want to say that she's just everything that I loved about her even when I was a boy. My first celebrity crush. But the music of today, I mean, even as a teacher, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and I said, when I was a boy, one of the things that we love to do as children is to during recess, we would get together, some of us who really enjoyed music, we would try to sing. I mean, some of us couldn't sing a tune, but we were really trying to sing, and we were dancing and having a good time. And these days, as a teacher, I don't see that in children. I don't see any type of, at least from my standpoint, and as a music teacher as well, I don't see the passion and the positive outlook of music that I had when I was a child, and even my friends had as young people growing up. I don't see that in our children. It's like something is missing artistically in their lives. So when they come into my room, I try my best to instill music or to teach music to them that is uplifting and inspiring, but also has a wonderful beat. And I also want to know, what are they listening to? And some of them don't listen to anything. They say, Mr. Miller, I don't listen to anything. And I'm like, wow. When I was their age, I knew, even if a person was not really into music, we knew artists. We knew Diana Ross. We knew Stevie Wonder. We knew Michael Jackson. We knew Madonna. We knew Whitney Houston. We knew Dionne Warwick. We knew the Temptations. We knew even the people that were before our time, because our parents were teaching us about the OJs, and they were teaching us about Karen Carpenter, and they were teaching us about Barbra Streisand, Liza Minnelli. I knew about these people. Didn't like all of them, but I knew of them. But some of my children, man, they don't know. They're probably, it's almost as if I mentioned Beyonce, some of them, they're like, who is that? I'm like, who do you listen to? Who inspires you musically? Who inspires you artistically? I could be wrong, but if you have that same type of feeling, comment below and let me know. Maybe I'm not as knowledgeable in what the young people are listening to these days, at least kids from 1st grade to 5th grade, even 1st grade to 7th grade, I would say that. Something is missing. What could it be? I can tell you what's not missing in my life, the vinyl that I've been listening to. Let's start with some 45s, shall we? Now, for the past 2 days, I've been just having a ball with all of my 45s. I have like maybe 500. Most of them I don't listen to, but these are the ones I've been really loving recently. This is Barbra Streisand with Donna Summer singing, what's that song? Oh my Lord. It's raining, it's pouring, my love life is boring me to tears. After all these years, another, and then Barbra Streisand hits that note. Wasn't that a beautiful song? It still, to me, it still gets me. Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer singing No More Tears, Enough is Enough. Oh my heavens. And then I've been listening to, this is gonna be a long video it seems. Then I've been listening to George Benson. Turn your love around. Dum, 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 dum. I could show you how. What a jam. Oh my Lord, that's still a jam. An oldie but goodie. This is Little Richard. Long Tall Sally. Long tall Sally, but down the band. I don't know the words. You know I don't know the words. Sometimes I just don't know the words, but the music sounds so good. I've been listening to the fantastic Shirley Jones. Do you get enough, get enough, get enough, get enough love? I wanna know. What a great tune. a #1 song too back in the day. And of course, I was talking about Diana Ross. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. I'm gonna teach my students that song. Oh, my kids have been learning about We Are the World. And we're gonna be singing that song, at least my second graders will be singing that song this upcoming week. They absolutely love it. We've shortened it some. I'm gonna have one of my teachers sing with me. There comes a time when we heed a certain call. So one of my teachers are gonna sing that, which is gonna be a surprise. Then I'm gonna join in, and then my kids are gonna come in with, we are the world, we are the children. Man, it's gonna be so beautiful. What, is that music being recorded today? Is it in the pop realm of music today? No. Then I've been listening to Luther Vandross. Give me the reason to want you back, which comes from the movie Ruthless People. But this is still a jam. Ooh. And of course, you can't go wrong with anything by Whitney. How Will I Know? I've been listening to her. I've been listening to the Sister Sledge album. I have the 33 and I have the 45 of We Are Family. I got all my sisters with me. Is that what that's showing? Let me show it to you like that. Yeah, We Are Family. Strangely, the kids know about that. When I start playing it, they know it. And I can play it because it's safe music. It's not explicit. There's no explicit lyrics. And this is Me and Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on, which is by the fantastic, lovely Billy Paul. My. And just a few more. The Staple Singers, I'll Take You There. Doom, 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 doom. Great song. And lastly, for my 45s, it's fun to stay at the YMCA. Yes, wonderful goodies. Now, this is kind of a sentimental thing. This is from my CD collection. And I'm looking through my dad's car. You know, he passed away in 2020. So it's coming up on about 3 years in December. So I think that's why I haven't been making lots of videos as well, because I've been dealing with some serious, I wouldn't really call it depression, but just, I guess I would call it depression. You know, when I don't think you ever get over the loss of a parent, especially if that parent was a model parent, and my dad was just everything to us. He was the breadwinner. He was the disciplinarian. He was the person who did most of the physical work in the yard. He tried to teach me how to do things, and I would just dread it. And so when he passed away, I had his car for a while. And I found in his car, which was like his retirement car, I found this. And I didn't know that he had been listening to the Drifters. In fact, it was in his truck. Yeah, it was in his truck because he had a CD player in the truck. And he had a pretty large CD collection that I didn't know that he was listening to CDs. He even had my CD in there, my Unity CD, which I recorded in 2011, came out in 2012. And so I've been listening to the Drifters. And this is a 3 CD set. And I think one's gonna fall out, so pardon me as I fix this, but he loved the Drifters. And I think it's a 3 CD set, but I think this is just an extra CD. I think he had purchased another one as well. And so he was, you know, he was in his 60s, and still loving the music of his youth. So I guess that's where we are now. Loving and still honoring the music of our youth. So now let's get to my big records, I call them. I found this at Halsey Records here in Kansas City, Missouri, which is another, I think I've spoken about this place before. It's a wonderful, it's a great, did I get it at Halsey Records? No, I think I got this at Seventh Heaven. Me and a friend went to Seventh Heaven, and that's a great place too. They have more than just records, but we won't get into that. But Seventh Heaven is a great place to find good, any type of record you want. This is Ashford & Simpson. This album is called High Rise. And I tell you, it is one of my favorite albums to listen to. I love the inside cover. I love that picture. You know, Ashford & Simpson, they wrote many famous hits for many people. For Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, for Diana Ross. In fact, they wrote Reach Out and Touch for her. They also did the new arrangement of Ain't No Mountain High Enough for her, in which she talks a lot. And there's a wonderful guy I want to, another YouTuber that I want to bring to your attention. He is a fantastic commentator on his favorite artists. I'm gonna put his, you'll see it right here. I forgot his name, but it'll be right here. And it's also, I'm gonna have a link in the description. He is a fantastic commentator when it comes to the people that he loves to listen to. He loves Diana Ross, like me. He loves Dionne Warwick. He loves Barbra Streisand. And he talks about like his favorite albums of Diana Ross and series. So especially when she was with Arista, and he talks about each album. He talks about her outfits. He talks about her concerts. He's very well knowledgeable. And so I want you to check him out and tell me what you think about him. He's really cool. And this is Deniece Williams, and this album is called Water Under the Bridge, which features, yeah, I got this from Halsey Records. It features her song called Never Say Never, which has Jermaine Stewart singing background. Now, Jermaine Stewart was the guy who sang the song, "We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh no, we could dance and party all night and drink some cherry wine, So at this time, he was a pretty hot person to have around as a background singer. So when this came out, I mean, I just loved Never Say Never. There's a great video that features Jermaine Stewart singing with Deniece Williams. I love this back cover. Oh, wow. And I love how she also has this inside of the cover, or of the sleeve. I want to hang it up, but then I don't, I want to keep it preserved inside of the sleeve. But yeah, this is a great album. It came out in, when did this album come out? Pardon me, everyone, I'm trying to use my glasses. Oh, 1987. My glasses, these glasses don't have the prescription for reading. But 1987, what a great song that is. Then I found the best of the Tramps. Disco Inferno. I thought that was all she wrote, but there are so many great songs from the Tramps, everybody. The Night the Lights Went Out. That's Where the Happy People Go. Hooked for Life. I love Hooked for Life. A Disco Party. Soul Searching Time. Body Contact Contract. No, what a title. And I Feel Like I've Been Living on the Dark Side of the Moon, and Seasons for Girls. So this is the best of the Tramps. I don't think there's a picture of them in here, but they have just awesome album covers. So if you're interested in this, I'd highly recommend it. But Disco Inferno, which was also on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, It's about 10 minutes long, and I love every minute of it. Just keeps you wanting to dance. And this is the one and only Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, Get It Right, produced by Luther Vandross. What an album this is. I must be honest, my favorite song on this album is Get It Right. That drum introduction is just killer. I think that when she worked with Luther Vandross, it was one of the highlights of her career. But this came before Freeway of Love, which really catapulted her even further into the pop arena. But before, in the 60s, she was, doing Respect and I've Never Loved a Man. But when she got into the 70s, that was kind of a slump, if you will. But when she got into the late 70s and the early 80s, this was 1983 on Arista, she took off like a rocket. She found good producers, which is Luther Vandross, and when she got with Michael Narda Walden, if I'm saying his name correctly, just, again, catapulted her to the stars. And I love this marvelous picture of her on the inside. Aretha Franklin, still the Queen of Soul. No one can top her when it comes to that soulful, gutsy, churchy sound that she brought to the table. And no one can duplicate that. Nobody. There's no one like Aretha. Then I've been listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. This is called Spirit, which has the song Get Away. And one of my favorite songs on here is Get Away. That's one of the favorite songs. Actually, I must say, every song on here is wonderful. You got those records in which there's no skip. You just listen to every song and you feel happy listening to every song. And this album is one of them. Spirit, which came out in 1976. And, here's the album itself. And let's see if it has a picture. I want to just ask this. I might use this as a backdrop or a background. I think I'll take a picture of it. Yeah, I'm going to keep this out. That's that's nice. I'm going to use that. I may put this in my thumbnail. Oh, you'll see. I'll try to work it out. Then we have Cheryl Lynn. Do any of you all remember Cheryl Lynn? Now, she's still around, but she came up with that song, 1, 2, 1. What you think of? What you feel now? What you love now? To be real. Now, she worked with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis on this album. And one of the standouts is It's Gonna Be Right. That's one of the standouts. But it just didn't hit the way To Be Real did. But I must say that I love this album cover. That makeup is on point. Her hair is on point. Let's see what the inside looks like. Usually there's a picture on the inside. No, just a lot of reading the lyrics of the songs. But this is a very good album. But the cut on here has to be It's Gonna Be Right. It's a very uplifting song, very positive lyrics, which is what I thrive on. Something that's gonna make me wanna get up in the morning. And all I wanna think about is having a good day. I don't wanna hear nothing negative. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oops, and then the fantastic Diana Ross, my heavens. My boy, when you see his link, check him out. He talks about this album. He's very knowledgeable. He talks about who did the photography. He talks about how she copied Cher's hair. I mean, he knows his stuff. I'm so proud to have found his channel. But this Swept Away, which is produced by Daryl Hall. Swept Away. I dropped the record. Oh my heavens, Tavis, be careful. Oh, but it's in marvelous condition. Other than the fact I just dropped it, we'll see. But it's still great condition. It looks spanking brand new, does it not? Look at that. And I haven't even cleaned it. Fantastic. But Swept Away, written by Daryl Hall and Sarah Allen, and even Daryl Hall, you hear him in the background singing with Diana Ross, especially close to the end. What an awesome, awesome album. When this came out, I tell you, first of all, Tina Turner was out as well with Private Dancer. So this came out in 1984. So I was like, ooh, Diana Ross is trying to be like Tina Turner. Remember when Tina Turner's hair was so wild in the Private Dancer album cover and in her concerts and in her life period, her hair just got crazy wild. So it's like Diana Ross joined in. That's what I think. But other people say she was copying Cher. But you know, back in the 80s, I mean, hair was everything. I don't know if it's as much as it was back then, but I mean, women's hair was so poofed up with hairspray, and it was something. The 80s were just magical. And I have two more here. Oh, maybe three. I have Archie Bell and the Drells. Do y'all remember them? I think one of their greatest hits was Tighten Up. But this album came out in the year of 1975, and it features Let's Groove, Everybody Move. And if I'm not mistaken, the song is McFadden. No, that's the writers. McFadden and Whitehead. They wrote Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the groove. Remember that? I could not get enough of that song back in the day when it first came out on the radio. And my cousins had it on 45s. I would say, please play it again, please play it again, please play it again. I loved it so much, but I think that they wrote some of the music, if not all of the songs on here. Yeah, they wrote a lot of the songs on here. And so their sound is very evident. This is a very great album by Archie Bell and the Drells. Now let's do two gospel records, okay? Now, I think I've already spoken about these, but I got them at Hosey Records, and I had sold this, and I was so glad to get it again in its shrink, and the album is still just looks phenomenal. This is Tremaine Hawkins. Oh man, I need to play this. I haven't played this yet. I'm gonna play it after this video is done. This is called The Search Is Over, and it has the wonderful tune, In the Morning Time. It has Heaven's Gate, Fall Down, The Child of the King. Just a great gospel album, very controversial at the time. They thought that she was singing the devil's music. I can't understand people these days. I can't understand people from back then, how they would think that she was singing the devil's music. Now this is like considered pretty standard gospel music. But back then, I mean, the bass and the drums were just banging, and they just criticized her to the utmost. She sang on Soul Train. She sang at the Garage, which was mostly a gay disco club. She says she's just bringing the message of Jesus Christ to the masses, and she did. Now she's like, I think she's in her 70s. She doesn't really sing as much. I don't think she's put out a record in a while, but she has left a legacy, and this is one of them. She was in, I hate to say this, she was in her prime, and she has an electrifying voice. Tremaine Hawkins, everybody. I'm sorry I keep doing that. Calm down, Tavis, I get excited. Tremaine Hawkins. And lastly, another Aretha Franklin album that I've been listening to. It's her second gospel album release, which is a double record set. This came out in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I remember. 1987, she was reduplicating her first I don't want to say reduplicating, but she was just making another gospel record. Her first gospel album, Amazing Grace, James Cleveland, another fantastic, great gospel artist, helped her with that first album. On here, she worked with Thomas Whitfield, who passed away a few years later. She works with Mavis Staples on here. Of course, she works with her sisters. You hear Jesse Jackson do a mini sermon. Her brother does a mini sermon on here. Man, this is just, it's a classic, another classic. I don't think it's as good as Amazing Grace. It's not as good as her first gospel album, but this is still good. It's a great album to have in your collection if you are an Aretha Franklin fan and a gospel music fan, okay? So everyone, that's all I have for you today, and I'm glad that you could tune in. And as always, with music and with great classic tunes, classic artists, be inspired and stay inspired.